Vermilion Houseboats doing our orientation video for our 44-foot Royalist number 12. So the first thing that we go over with our guests is this motor cover tilts up. We always trim our outboards up so our guests can take pictures of the prop and lower unit. Our staff will do that for you. And then we'll lower the outboard back down. Next thing we go over on our orientation video is our generators. This houseboat will come with typically either a Honda or Yamaha 2000 generator. Our staff will go over how to start the generators and kind of show you how to operate those generators. They're very, very easily operated. So main thing we stress with the generators is the cord that comes out of the back of the houseboat needs to stay plugged in the generator, and that we require that our guests run the generator a minimum of 3 hours a day continuously. So basically when the generator is running, it is powering the outlets inside the houseboat. So anytime you're trying to use an outlet for power, whether it's trying to charge a cell phone, the generator needs to run. That's what powers the outlets. And also while the generator is running, it's running our battery charger for our deep cycle batteries. And our deep cycle batteries run our overhead lights, they run our water pressure pump, and they run the thermostat on the fridge. So basically, the reason why we have you run it 3 hours a day continuously is it keeps those deep cycle batteries charged up so that you have working lights, running water, and a working fridge during your entire stay of your houseboat vacation. Also here on the back deck, you'll typically just get a jug of gas for the generator. We can give you more if you request it. But the gas is for the generator, so you make sure you have enough gas to power your generator throughout your stay. And also on this houseboat here, we go over here's your propane tanks. So basically, we tell our guests with the propane tanks is the uses of your propane is your stovetop and your oven. The condenser on the fridge runs off of propane. But the main use of the propane is the heater, if you're running your heaters during our colder seasons, like our spring or fall seasons. So if you are running your heaters during your stay, you do need to come back here daily and kind of keep tabs on your propane tanks. Just kind of lift them up. They're very light when they're empty and they're very heavy when they're full. So there's no mistaking whether you have a full or empty tank. So just make sure if you are using your heaters to keep tabs on your propane tanks. If you're not using your heaters, you don't need to worry about your propane during your stay. So we'll walk through the cabin here. So as we're walking through our cabin, we always show our guests that our smoke and our carbon monoxide alarms are working. So your carbon monoxide detector will test that. This is your smoke detector. We'll test that during the orientation of your houseboat. Then we walk into the bathroom here. Like to show our guests our toilets. So on this particular houseboat, the toilet works a couple different ways. So what we tell our guests is basically the lever, lever number 1 goes down. That just opens the valve and empties into the septic tank. On number 2, you lift up on a lever, the basin will fill. Basically taking number 2, you want to fill the basin, has something to float in, and then your solids will wash down into the septic and be gone. So, then also here in the bathroom underneath the sink, we usually have extra toilet paper. Oh, there's some scent freshener. And then also in this tab here are some deodorizer drop-ins for our septic. So if your septic starts to stink during your trip, just add a drop-in as need be to keep the septic smell down during. Basically, the main thing with the fridges are on your display. As long as you're not getting any type of error message, the fridge is working 100%. So should be 9 is the coldest setting. Hit that. So yeah, we'll always have it on the number 9. That's going to be your coldest setting. Number 1 is the lowest. So number 9 is your coldest. Inside the refrigerator here is a little thermometer. It'll give you your internal temp of the fridge. So what we kind of stress to our guests is, so especially on your first day of your trip, when you arrive, do not overload the fridge. You can put some things in the fridge, but don't stuff it full of food. Because the fridge doesn't have the capability to cool as efficiently as, say, a house refrigerator does. So don't overload the fridge. Keep an eye on the thermostat in there. If you feel your fridge is not cooling it enough, pull some stuff out of the fridge, put it in coolers. But usually by the morning after your first night, the fridge is caught up, and you can really kind of put everything you need to in the fridge. Just kind of keep tabs on that during your stay. Here on the freezer, we have a little info sheet. Goes over our supply run here at the top, mechanical / emergencies here in the second one. Just kind of some different tutorial do's and don'ts here on the helpful hints for our fleet. And also on the bottom here, we have an inventory of our houseboats as far as dishware, cookware, and general items on the houseboat. So things we stress here too that we don't want to forget is the faucets, our lake water. So the kitchen faucet, the bathroom faucet, and then the bathroom shower. That's just water we're pumping out of the lake. So do not drink the faucet water on the houseboat. We do offer gallon jugs of fresh water. And we have plenty during your stay. If you feel you need more, we can give you more. We can also bring out more during our service runs. We want to make sure you have plenty of drinking water and cooking water during your stay. So kind of keep walking through the cabin here. Here on the kitchen table, there's always a binder, a white binder on the table. And in here we have there's some fishing regulations, different stuff, kind of introduction to our fleet. Some dining and activities on the lake, as well as information on all of our mooring sites on our lake, so very useful. There's also some FAQ stuff. So if you're having any issues with your houseboat, please look through that. We explain a lot of stuff in there. That way you don't need to call us. You can do a lot of stuff yourself. So as we walk up here, we'll go over the heater for the houseboat. So we have basically offsetting the pilot setting, the 1, 2, or 3. So 3 is going to be your warmest setting. So go ahead and when you want to start it, turn it to pilot, and then you'll hold that button down. And here's your striker. Light your pilot light. Hold the pilot down, and for a good 10 seconds or so, once you release it, you just turn the dial to either 1, 2, or 3. And that, again, 3 being the warmest setting. So there's basically 3 tiles. So the 1 will be 1, 2 will be 2, 3 will be 3. And that'll give you heat during your stay. And just make sure when you're done with it that it gets in the off position and turns the heater off. Switches here at the helm. So running lights, anchor lights, and horn, we have those disconnected. We don't want the houseboats out after dark, and we don't want the houseboats using their horn. So those are disconnected. So basically, cabin lights, water pressure runs your water pressure pump, and the refrigerator, of course, runs your refrigerator. So keep all those on. The one thing we want you to do is while you're cruising on the lake, we want you to turn your water pressure switch off. If you're using your water while you're cruising on the lake, you can deprime your water lines and burn up your water pump. So again, while you're cruising, keep the water pressure switch off. If you're on the lake and need to use the restroom or wash your hands, just bring the houseboat down to idle speed. You can turn the water pressure switch back on to use the restroom, wash your hands, but again, turn it back off once you're cruising again. And then once you get to your mooring site, you can just leave the water pressure switch on. Very simple operation of the houseboat. Turnkey start. You simply just start the motor. Here's your shifter. So again, you're basically shifted into forward. Now you're advancing throttle. While you're doing so, you want to watch the RPM tack. So that's as you're advancing the throttle handle, you know when you're actually giving it throttle. And again, reverse and then reverse throttle. So just be very gentle with the shifter. Don't get too rammy with it. Just nice, easy movements. Keep it running well. And again, just watching your RPM tack. 3,000 RPMs will be your cruising speed. Also up here at the helm, we have our Humminbird GPS with our paper map. We do have a separate orientation video dedicated just to the Humminbird GPS for navigation and finding your mooring sites. That is very, very useful. So if you're watching these videos, make sure to watch the orientation video on the Humminbird GPS for the navigation and mooring site location on our lake. So now we'll walk out to the front deck. Over here we have our charcoal grill on the houseboat. And then I usually have a cooler and have deck chairs here on the front deck. And then in this white box right here is our life jackets for our houseboat. We also have a separate orientation video for mooring the houseboat. So please watch that. That's also on our YouTube channel. That'll be kind of give you a how-to on mooring the houseboat. That concludes our orientation video for our 44-foot Royalist number 12. Thank you.